A lot going on over in the Middle East. Let's talk about what's going on in Yemen. The Houthis have been cracking down on the United Nations and World Food Program and other agencies that are in Yemen trying to feed the people. I went out and did a quick search, and it didn't take me long to find video of starving children in Yemen. These kids are just skin and bones. Just amazing how bad a shape they're in. They've had more than 84,000 children die in Yemen. There definitely is famine in Yemen and has been for more than a decade. And the Houthis are not helping that at all. The UN, the World Food Program, other agencies have set up shop in various parts of Yemen to try to get food in there to the people that are starving. And the Houthis just are being a nuisance, really. The Houthis are just a bunch of sheep herders, camel herders that Iran has been arming and made them into a proxy to strike at Israel. So they've hit more than 100 ships since the beginning of the war. They've attacked more than 100 ships, and that obviously has had a huge impact on the number of ships that are going through the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, Bab el-Mandab Straits and all that. About the only ships that will go through there anymore are ships that buy off the Houthis. The Houthis can actually make money by threatening those ships, and then the ships have to basically bribe the Houthis not to attack their ships. And so China does that. Iran obviously is moving ships through there. And Iran has said in the last 2 days that they plan to dramatically increase their support for the Houthis, because really the Houthis are the only proxy that Iran has left. So Hezbollah is not being very helpful to the Iranian cause up in Lebanon. Obviously, Hamas is on the ropes in Gaza. So the Houthis are where it's at for Iran. They've also tried to make some new proxy forces in like Sudan and places like that. That hasn't gone real well. Yemen is basically a big dirt parking lot. There's not a lot there. And so we can take a look at that by going to the map, and we can look at the airstrips that are being built around Yemen. This is the new airstrip that's being built just south of Hodeidah, this island that's just outside the Bab el-Mandab Strait. And Hodeidah is right here. As Israel has been striking Hodeidah a lot, especially the port and the power infrastructure and that sort of thing. And the Houthis don't control too much further south than that. And the question is, who is building these airstrips? We know that the United Arab Emirates has been helping to build these airstrips because the UAE doesn't like the Houthis either. It would not surprise me if the United States didn't have something to do with this. These are not the Houthis creating these airstrips. These are being made by the enemies of the Houthis to strike back at them, to try to help push the Houthis out, try to help safeguard ships in the region, that sort of thing. Now, down here in Aden, Aden is still controlled by the anti-Houthi Yemen, the actual government of Yemen. This is the legitimate elected government of Yemen. And those people have not been super friendly to the United States either. Aden is a city that's under control of the anti-Houthi forces who would like to push the Houthis out. So the United States and the UK and others have been investing a lot in those forces to try to get the Yemeni forces up to speed enough where they can go against the Houthis themselves. And it has not been very successful, I have to say. The United States has troops on the ground in Yemen trying to train these Yemeni soldiers to go take out the Houthis. The UK has got some special forces in there. Others have been sending money to assist with that, Saudi Arabia and the UAE. The problem is none of these people like each other. And there are various factions of the non-Houthi Yemenis who are all at each other's throats. And what we found is that no matter how many troops we send down there to train them, these guys can't get along with each other long enough to actually get anything accomplished. So they're always killing each other, always fighting each other, and they just don't have enough unity yet to push out the Houthis. The Houthis are very happy to see their people starved. They're hoping to be able to pull the same stunt that Hamas did by claiming that the famine and all that is the fault of Israel. That's not the case. That famine was going on long before Israel got involved in Yemen. But these new airfields are going to serve the purpose of helping to forward deploy forces that can keep a handle on the Houthis going forward. The Houthi rebels detained about 20 UN staffers in Sana'a. 5 of them were from Yemen. They're Yemeni employees of the UN, and 15 of them were international employees. We don't know all of their nationalities, but I was able to look up a few of them. So the nationalities are one British guy, his name is Peter Hawkins. He's a UNICEF representative for Yemen. He's being held hostage. There's a Japanese person from UNICEF that's being held hostage, Lebanese person, several Egyptian people, a Serbian, a Georgian, and a Filipino. So that accounts for 8 of the 15 international detainees from this last round. But again, there's a grand total of 54. One of them, they believe, has died in captivity. Some of these are not UN representatives. They're the crews of the ships that the Houthis have taken over. And some of those people have been there for more than a year. And, you know, the UN comes out every time this happens and condemns, oh, we condemn the taking of hostages from our UN mission. But the world doesn't really do much about it. It's like there's not that much of an international outcry. President Trump hasn't gotten involved to try to get those people released. You can bet if any of those hostages were Americans, we would be involved, but they're not. And so those poor guys just languish in probably the worst conditions humanly possible that you could even imagine. Absolutely terrible conditions.